I just need to sync. There. We are now synced because the moment I see those on both videos, I'll line those up.
Okay.
Okay. I will now play music according to that. So, here we go. We know how the sound on that is. Okay. So tell me, what's Tomo up to before heading to his inevitable doom?
Well, since this was basically right after he got his wounds attended to, he's just been kind of sitting in the infirmary. Possibly either Arthur or Nat trying to help him out.
Okay.
He hasn't really been doing that much. It's probably been like a day or two.
You were essentially, the night before, you were instructed to meet with Hellings the following morning.
Okay.
So,
I'm gonna die. Is my voice okay, by the way?
your voice is fine.
Yeah, good.
So, what you do, homie? Aside from...
Well, is Howling's door open or closed?
Usually the office door is closed because of a certain loud bird.
Oh, well, I do a kind of a I do 3 knocks on the door.
Okay. It's quiet for a bit until you hear... Enter.
Okay, he opens the door kind of quick because he just wants to get this over with.
Okay. You see, Hellings sitting in his... Oh, 1 second, I didn't set the stupid stuff to repeat. So, let's do that. There we go. You see him sitting in a chair behind his desk. The only difference from the picture really is it's a bit darker, older.
I don't have any pictures.
Thank you for telling me.
Yeah.
I just woke up from a nap. Doop, 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 doop. Here we go. There you go.
Oh, that's a fancy office.
Fancy office indeed. However, differences. A bit older. Other things is there is a fireplace in the room, and over that is a sort of placeholder for his axe. And that's where that is.
Is the axe on it?
Yep.
Okay, good.
And he's sitting there watching you expectantly. On the other side of his desk is a chair as well.
Okay.
What you want to do, homie?
Well, I kind of look at him and I'm like, so you wanted to talk to me?
He swivels around completely and takes a gesture to the chair.
I sit down.
Close the door behind you.
Oh, I get up and shut the door.
So,
And then I proceed to go sit back in the chair.
he picks up a few papers and kind of straightens them out. Mr. Yokozuki. He just kind of looks at you. His voice is a lot calmer than last night.
Good. It's always a good thing when you don't have to deal with an angry man.
I should start by clarifying. I realize this is not all you're doing. However, you were a main contributing factor. I'll start from there. Now, what I want you to do is, if you could kindly tell me your side of the story here.
Where do you want me to start? From the very beginning of the mission, or just to the point where darkness was starting to fall?
You can start from wherever you deem necessary. I want something to be able to compare to Henderson's report.
Okay. I guess I will start from... once we actually got inside the treehouse. Okay. Okay, so we were investigating the treehouse, and I thought it would be a fairly good idea to go up and see if there was any clues at the top to where this missing child would actually be. I head up there. I found the broken swing. Henderson may or may not have wrote in his report, but there was in fact a broken swing, and at the top, there was someone behind me, and I couldn't tell what it was, so I reached back and tried to feel it, and the second I did, it told me to leave. And of course, if someone is behind me and doing that, I want to turn around. I kept turning around, and it would not want to be in my sight. I wanted to make sure that it was a child, because there were more than one missing children. And I was aware that the sun was going down, but I did not think that it was actually going to be night that quickly. It seemed that time moved a lot quicker than what we originally had thought.
You mentioned more than one missing child.
Yes, at the park, we found a locket for another child, and I believe that she was missing as well, because the last place Timothy was seen was at that same park.
Your other colleagues failed to mention this.
He just kind of like starts just looking down, and he's like, I don't know if they were exactly missing, but I had reason to believe that they were missing. And I wanted to make sure of it, if this thing behind me at the top of the treehouse was in fact a missing child.
Understandable. Why did you refuse to come down even after being told that it was time to leave?
He just kind of sits there in silence for a little bit, because he really doesn't know what to say, actually. And he's just like, after a while, he just kind of goes, well, as I said before, I wanted to make sure it was a missing child, and I kept turning around, and the child would not, or whatever it was behind me, wouldn't want to be in my line of sight. And I just wanted to confirm that this was in fact a missing child, if it was one at all.
I see. And I suppose this is more of a common sense question more than a question on your worth ethic. Why did you think that after your first few turnarounds, it was going to change?
Tomo just kind of...
At this point, he's just sitting with his arms crossed.
He just kind of starts, like, playing with his fingers, and he's like, well, I thought I was being a little bit playful, and wanted to make this a game. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't playing a game, and that in fact I was actually serious about finding this child and making sure that whoever it was behind me was safe.
Well, to put the facts blatantly, by you trying to confirm that this child was safe and this playful child that ended up not being there, you put the rest of your team in danger because they waited for you past nightfall. Do you realize this?
He nods his head and goes, I'm quite aware of how much danger that I put my team in. At this point, he just kind of is just looking at the ground right now.
He stands up slowly, looking down at Tomo. Understand that this cannot go without punishment. You may be... Oh, go ahead.
Tomo immediately looks up at the dumb word of punishment.
He's just looking down at you solemnly. You may be used to functioning as a lone body, Mr. Yokosugi. But we function as a whole here. Such performances as yours will not be tolerated. Understand me?
He nods his head. He doesn't say anything. He just nods his head.
Alright then. He turns around and walks towards the mantle.
Oh my god.
Picks it up. Just opens the case, picks up the axe. Right then. Hand out.
Oh my god. He puts his hand out on the he puts his hand out on the desk, and he's like, he puts it out really slow, and he's shaking.
Yeah. Takes his axe and kinda... See, what were you kinda akin to aiming? He essentially readies his axe.
No.
Anything else you have to say on your behalf?
He just kinda takes a deep breath and is just like... He just takes a deep breath and he just kind of looks up at him. He kind of tries to make a grin, and he's like, well, looks like, guess I kind of deserved this. You can tell he's very, very afraid.
Raises his axe, and let me find something. And you can see, looking at him, there doesn't seem to be much pity here. It's pretty stern. Like, clearly not enjoying this, but just business. And he brings the axe down. And it lands next to your hand. Upside down, so that the blade is facing upward.
Okay.
Makes a very loud thump. He simply stands there waiting.
Tomo's just like sweating right now in fear.
He waits for a bit longer, seeing if Tomo has anything to say.
He just kind of looks up at him and he's like, why didn't you do it?
To put it simply, I am not one to give harsh punishment for actions that do not deserve them. However, I'm going to place you under house arrest for 4 days. During this time, I encourage you to socialize with your peers. You also, from now on, follow direct orders issued from Miss Cole or Mr. Henderson. I will inform them they are functioning as your entourage from now on, until you can prove yourself worthy, understand?
Tomo, like, nods his head really fast.
As for the violence, and he looks down at the axe. It's still there, facing up next to your hand. Call it a promise. If you pull something like this again, I will not be as kind. This is a high-functioning organization, Mr. Yokosugi. And if there are any frayed strings, they must be cut.
He kind of like slowly takes his hand off the table while looking at Hellings the whole time. Just very slowly. In case he wants me to keep it on the table.
He doesn't stop you.
Okay. At this point, his hand is off the table.
Hellings takes his axe off the table and examines the small dent that was left in his desk. Seems to frown a bit and put a paper over it. You understand your punishments, then?
Tomo's like, yes.
Alright.
I do.
Then that is all I need of you. You're free to go.
He kind of gets up and he walks out of the room kind of slow because he's still kind of shaken up.
And Mr. Yokosugi, he says, kind of
he-
turning his back to you.
He turns around, trying to look at him.
Try not to end up in this office again.
He kind of, in like a more serious tone of voice, he's like, I won't try and come in here unless it's actually for business.
Good.
And not bad business. He turns around and opens the door and leaves. And then he shuts the door behind him.
Attaboy. Alright. That was a short roleplay, but easy enough.
Yeah.
You didn't lose a hand.
Oh my god, I thought I was though.